but it's around that.
Hi, my name is Michaelas, and I'm going to be speaking to you guys on timeshares and the pros and cons on investing in them. Now, how many of you have visited timeshares? How many of you have been offered timeshares? And did anyone invest in them? Do you find it beneficial?
Yeah.
You do? Okay, perfect. So my family thought it was going to be beneficial as well. And little did they know, it definitely wasn't. Sorry. Well, we invested in a timeshare when I was about 10 years old in Mexico, Cabo San Lucas. And they pulled us in with a free breakfast. And it was in completely like buffet. It was awesome. And of course I loved it, even though I was only 10 years old. I didn't even know what was happening. And so they bombarded my parents with questions and just the features of all the timeshares and what they had to offer. Now, when they do this, they leave a lot of things out, or they barely touch on them. And it makes it look so attractive to the buyer. Now, my dad is very stingy with his money, and considering timeshares are thousands of dollars up front, he didn't want to do it, yet he did. And he completely woke up in sweats and realized that he had complete buyer's remorse. So does anyone know what a timeshare actually is or means? No? Maybe? Maybe? You want to try? You want to say it?
It's like you buy, so you invest money into a place in a certain part of the world. You're with a company, a timeshare company, and basically you get that location for X amount of weeks a year. It belongs to you, totally you, and then you can choose to either stay there or trade with somebody else at a different timeshare in the world and trade those weeks for.
Sort of.
Sort of.
I think it's way too complicated what you're thinking.
Oh.
But a timeshare is usually a prepaid vacation, and it's normally 1 week out of the year, and everyone is assigned a week. And timeshares also come with points, so you can trade the points, and when you use the first week, you get more points, or you could just save them and do an upgrade. So it sounds like an ideal vacationing method, right? Well, Sigmund from the Timeshare Ultimate writes, the vacation ownerships are the fastest growing out of the travel industry in the past 10 years. And the reason the timeshares look so attractive to the people buying it is because they can choose wherever they want to go. They can choose Cabo, they can choose Alaska, they can choose Canada, and they will always be in the same company. And that is what a timeshare necessarily is. Now, the catch with the timeshare is that it's not as expensive as a real vacation, and they say that you're saving money when you're really not, but they say it's cheaper. So what another pro is that they're prepaid. So when you want to go on a vacation, you use your points, you don't have to prepay and go through all that hassle and realize how much money you have actually spent. So these are the timeshares, and right here is what they actually look like. I swear to you. They're trying to sell it to you, and that's all the money you're actually putting into it. And then this shows all the places you can go, and that it's cheaper. Now this is a chart that explains the hotel services rather than a timeshare service. So right here is an average hotel night, which is $200 per night. And if you stay there for a week, it's going to be $14,000. Now an average timeshare span is 30 years. So you're going to be buying a timeshare necessarily, and you have to keep it for 30 years. And it's going to be $42,000 now, or for a hotel, sorry. And then for a timeshare, it's $8,000 up front, but the catch is the maintenance fees, which are $550. Times that by 30, which is $16,500. and then you add that to the 8,000 and it's 24,500. Now, the timeshares obviously look like a better option, and it looks a lot cheaper, but in reality, the maintenance fees say that they are going to stay the same when they actually raise every single year depending on what happens with your timeshare or what goes on with the weather. So that is where they do a loophole and say that you are not going to be spending money, you are going to be saving money, which is not true. And that brings me into the cons. So, my parents went to Cabo San Lucas, and about 7 years into our timeshare, everything was going well. They realized they had maintenance fees, they realized that they had other dues to pay, and it was fine, it was going well, until a hurricane hit. So this is Cabo, beautiful Cabo, my favorite, and that's after the hurricane hit. So with all the damage, with everything that happened out there, the maintenance fees went up 3 times as much as it already had. And within those years, if they keep going up, you're just wasting money. And this happens very, very, very often. So this brings me into the full cons, where you also have extra fees. And it's not only maintenance fees, you're spending money on the actual insurance and the mortgage. So when you are paying off your whole entire 30 years of having a timeshare, they don't really mention that you still have payments due. And Samson, owner of the timeshare network, says the property values of the timeshare decrease rapidly, thus rarely making a profit. So this means that as you have your timeshare, the worth of it is going down. Okay, so timeshares are almost impossible to sell. And this means that there are a lot of scammers, because a lot of people want to get rid of it, considering they realize they're just throwing their money down the drain after all of the costs that bound up on them. So, to sell a timeshare, if you're lucky, it works out well, but most of the time it doesn't, and you actually have to pay someone to buy it from you, like a main brand like Costco, or your own timeshare has to buy it back from you because no one wants it. And that actually costs thousands of dollars, but these people don't care because they're wasting their money anyways, and they don't want to keep on wasting their money. So let me ask you a final question. Would you want to invest your own hard-worked money into a timeshare that is just going to throw it all away anyways? And for my last note to conclude, just remember, a good investment is one you can get more out of than you put in. Thank you.